Hi, this is Donna Taggert, the dietitian for the Department of Aging and Human Services. June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. Cognitive decline is a normal part of the aging process. Many experience a decline in cognitive function at around the age of 50, or 60, sorry, that's too young. 67% actually by age of 70 are experiencing more of a cognitive decline. 10% of people with mild cognitive impairment will experience an incremental progression to dementia, but others may not. Most prevalent type of dementia is Alzheimer's. It's a progressive neurodegenerative disease, the fifth leading cause of death with Americans over the age of 65. Cognitive decline occurs for several reasons: genetics and natural aging process, but also modifiable factors like nutrition and lifestyle can have a play in it. Certain conditions that can increase the risk of cognitive decline are like head trauma, alcohol use, certain hormones. And they do have several screening tools. And that's important because studies show that earlier the introduction of lifestyle or pharmaceutical interventions are more effective in slowing the decline. There's been a lot of studies on individual nutrients, foods, and different dietary patterns. And the very first thing is to assess if you actually have a nutritional deficiency like B12 or vitamin D, and if there's any underlying health conditions that could be causing that. Several diets have been studied. Mediterranean diet, I've talked about that, numerous things for health. DASH diet, which is the dietary approaches to stopping hypertension. And then there's the MIND diet. It's the combination, like a meshing of those two diets, the Mediterranean DASH intervention for neurodegenerative delay, the MIND diet. They've even studied the ketogenic diet to see if that can help. These diets show promise, but the MIND diet is the only research-based meal pattern specifically designed for our brain health. And it can be adapted to many cuisines, so that's what's really good. It's not very specific, and you can really, use different foods. And a large cohort analysis of over 8,000 people found adherence to the MIND diet was associated with a much lower risk of developing dementia. And it's especially helpful following this diet, but when combined with other lifestyle behaviors like lots of movement, physical activity, mental activity, good sleep hygiene, a sense of purpose, community connections, all these things our senior centers aim to provide and will help with that cognitive stimulation. Now, individual foods that show promise in research, and these have been kind of integrated into the MIND diet. Number one is the fatty fishes. And we all kind of know salmon, big fatty fish, lots of omega-3s, but also includes herring, mackerel, sardines, halibut, rainbow trout, tuna, and a newcomer to the scene, barramundi. It's a very light white fish, not real fishy taste. It's thin, not like a cod, but it's very full of those omega-3s. So challenge you to try it sometime. I can only find it frozen in stores in St. Mary's County, but it's worth trying if you like fish at all. And by doing 2 servings of fatty fishes a week, they found a 30% decreased risk in cognitive decline. Another big one are all our fruits and vegetables, berries especially. They've studied them intensely. They have a lot of flavonoids in them, and they found that flavonoids, people who eat a lot of foods with flavonoids have a lot lower risk of cognitive decline. They recommend 2 half-cup servings of berries a week. That's not a lot, but every little bit counts. And beyond just the berries, your oranges, grapefruits, apples, pears, bananas, and even tea, very high in those flavonoids. Also, leafy green vegetables have lots and lots of B vitamins. They have fiber, they have antioxidants. A study found that higher intake of total vegetables is associated with a decreased risk of dementia. And they recommend at least 4 servings a day. You all have heard me talk. I recommend up to 9 to 11 servings a day. They found lots of studies increased fruits and vegetables really help with not only our brain health, but our heart health, our bone health, our gut health. Overall, you can't go wrong eating a fruit or vegetable. Lean protein is important for cognitive health. Not all protein is good. All those fatty meats that sometimes we eat, not good for a cognitive health. Processed meats like hot dogs have been shown to have a higher risk of decline when you eat a lot of those processed meats. So focus on lean protein, like in poultry, in fish, and the plant-based proteins. So overall, you want to increase your intake of leafy greens, nuts, beans, berries, seafood, whole grains, liquid oils, lean poultry, colorful fruits and vegetables, and lots of spices. There'll be a PDF that you can download if you'd like. It's on the Mind Diet recommendations, which talks about these particular foods, consuming more of the olive oil, at least 3 servings of whole grains a day, green leafy vegetables, more than 6 servings a week. So why not just eat them every day? Nuts recommends more than 5 servings a week. So again, a handful of nuts every day is going to be really good for your brain. Other vegetables, at least more than 1 serving a day. And they put that in there because the stats show most Americans only eat 1 serving of fruits and vegetables a day. So you want to really up your game on fruits and vegetables. Beans, 3 servings a week. Poultry, not fried, at least twice a week, 2 meals a week. Fish, again, not fried, more than 1 serving a week. And again, the studies are showing 2 servings of fish are really what's good for our brains. Berries, again, at least 2 servings a week, but I recommend if you can do more than that, that's great. Getting frozen berries is a good way to save some money because fresh berries can be quite expensive when they're not in season. What else? Wine, they list on here, is 1 glass a day. Now, there's a lot of controversy about alcohol these days, linked with a lot of cancer. So again, you don't want to overdo that 1 serving per day. And then what they recommend to consume less, doesn't say never, but pastries and sweets, less than 5 servings a week. Red meat and processed type meats, less than 4 servings, 4 meals a week. Fried or fast food, less than 1 serving or 1 meal out a week. So that's like, let's just go to our favorite fast food every other week instead of every week or every other day that sometimes people do. Cheese is recommended at less than 1 serving a week because of the high fat content, and butter and margarine is recommended at less than a tablespoon a day. So again, these are not, you can never eat them ever again on the Mind Diet. It's just saying, let's eat most of these healthier things in larger quantities and less of these other things. There'll also be a Mind Diet tracker that you can print out, and it has all the servings of the different categories. So green leafy vegetables, 1 serving a day. Did it on Sunday? Check. Did it on Monday? Check. Tuesday? No. Wednesday? Check. So you can go through the week and check off how you're doing with all these different categories. And trust me, some of the statistics about the Mind Diet, I'll just read you a few more. A recent study of 923 people ages 58 to 98 were followed for 4.5 years. Adherence to the Mind Diet was associated with a slower rate of cognitive decline, equivalent to 7.5 years younger age, compared to those who didn't adhere to the diet. So it's really, they're still studying it. They're still, bringing in other nutrients that they're studying. But so far, these are the things they have recommended and are finding great success in them. And let's face it, it's not a hard thing to follow. So I hope you can do it. And next month, we're going to talk about how can we incorporate snacking into our eating healthy-wise. So hopefully you'll join me for that. I'll see you then. Bye.